hello, and welcome to Endeavor BS, live at 5 here on Friday. It's where the BS stands for Brewing and Spirits, and there's no other possible way to interpret that particular combination of letters.
None
whatsoever.
Absolutely
Perfect.
With me today, we have Amanda.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Good. And you?
Good. I'm wonderful. Thanks.
none. So great.
And we have Andy.
Hi, everybody.
So these two are a rather adventurous couple, and they're good friends, good personal friends, good friends of the brewery here. And we are here today in the glory of BSing, just sitting around, talking, having some drinks, giving them the chance to tell us a little bit about themselves, their travels, all kinds of fun, and our obvious belief in a certain cryptid.
Correct.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Lovely. So you guys took a trip recently, right?
We've taken a couple trips recently, yes. The first one we took was to, I think the most interesting one was to Honduras.
Yeah.
That was probably the most interesting of the ones that we've taken, and it was extremely eye-opening and interesting at the same time.
Yeah, tell me about that. So I was in Honduras, in the Bay Islands as well, 2005, 6, kind of in that, I believe it's 2005. Tell me how it was for you.
So yeah, we went to Roatan, Honduras. So it's one of the little islands, not the main island, but obviously the times have changed, so it's not as
Busy.
poppin' as it's not as busy as it used to be. But they have like a East Island, West Island, and more so of the East Island is like where all the cruise ships come into. So they're usually pretty busy, and everybody's like very open. People are taking you on excursions, but the cruise ships aren't traveling right now. So
Why is that?
I
There's
don't know.
thing going on.
Is there? I heard rumors
Has anybody ever
of
seen
like
that happening?
I heard rumors of some kind of global pandemic. I don't
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thankfully, we're kind of
Heard
getting to the end of that, but
Yeah. No, it's
Hopefully.
yeah. Exactly.
things could happen. The happening.
No, but
I'm just gonna keep bringing that up. Warning everybody now.
No, but as he mentioned, so we had quite the bit of struggle arriving in Honduras, which was rather fun, all having to do with an airline that I will not mention the name.
Yeah.
You
They're
can call
just
them
a
out. I think
very
that's
American. They're just a very American,
yeah.
company.
yeah.
American company.
Yeah. An
You know,
airline from
An
America.
airline.
Yeah.
from
Airline from
America.
America.
Airline
Sometimes
America,
AA
yeah.
for short.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. So long story short, when we were taking off in Columbus, it was I think it was the last snowstorm that we had here. And when we we had quite the delay taking off, about an hour. And when we landed in Miami was our layover, because you have to land in Miami and then go. We had missed our connection flight. So with the travel restrictions out of the country, you have to make sure you have a COVID test within 72 hours of international travel.
A negative COVID test.
Negative COVID test, yes, thank you. And with that being said, I think that explains it all. We had to go get new COVID tests, and it was quite the struggle. Yes, that's appropriate, very appropriate. And it was honestly one of the most difficult things. I mean, you can get COVID tested in Columbus easily. You can go to a CVS.
And they're free.
And they're free. In Miami, they were about $200 a piece.
Per person, yeah.
Per person. And that's for the rapid test, because that's the only one that we could do.
That's like not much less than an open water diving certificate in Roatan, Utila.
Right. Yeah.
Man.
So we ended up finding we went into this one place.
Oh, we found 4 places.
Yeah, we did. Yes. It was a rather interesting feat. We tried to make the best of it in Miami, but we were both just, I think, so pissed off that that whole situation had happened that we just got really drunk in Miami and flew out the next day and made it there.
Mind you, American Airlines.
Oh.
I'm sorry. The
airline.
the airline that is American, did absolutely nothing other than change our flight to the next day, because they only have one flight going in and out.
I have never seen
Honduras.
this man angry. And when he told me when we first started dating, he's like, if I'm angry, you'll know it. I saw him angry, very
Sometimes
angry.
I turn green.
Yes, he did. And he
Green
got very
like your
large.
shirt and your shades.
He got very large.
Absolutely.
But it was interesting. But yeah, so regardless, we ended up getting to Honduras, and it made me feel lots of different emotions. I was super happy to be there, beautiful scenery, but you also feel immediately thankful for all of the stuff that you have.
Everybody there, though, is awesome.
So nice.
Yeah. Everybody we met, everybody we talked to, the places, like we went diving, which that's a whole other story,
That's
which
kind of
I'm
a
sure
thing
we'll
to
get
do
into.
there.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
But yeah, we
was
went
terrible.
diving for the first time, and I thought it was wonderful. It was great. It was a wonderful experience. Our first dive was more of a float because
Drift dive?
Under
yeah,
40,
this is basically a dip
40
dive.
feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were doing
Okay.
about 40 feet, and a storm was coming in. So when we got to our dive depth, the current just
Took
us.
Yeah.
And
Is
then-
60 still the
I think it's
depth
40
for, is it 40 for
Yeah, it's-
basic or whatever?
It's 40 for basic, I think,
Yeah.
right now.
I think advanced is 100.
Yeah, you can go to 100
Yeah.
in advanced, or if you're like certified, in
Certified,
any kind.
yeah.
Yeah.
Literally felt like we were on a live episode of like Little Mermaid because it was so like literally you get down there and everything is neon, everything is like just floating right past you. I mean, it was a cool experience. I just could not grasp the concept of breathing underwater out of my mouth only.
It's sort of an alien feeling. Isn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I freaked out at one point, and there's different hand signals that you can do, like,
Sure.
and I was giving the one that's like, I'm out of air, I'm out of air.
Is that basically this?
Correct.
to-
Yes. I
Fair
She
enough.
turns to me
I
and she's
was-
just like,
I am done, which means you're out of air.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
not probably the signal. The instructor was like, that is the signal I do not want to see when we're down there. And I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I had it. I was like, I need to go up now. And so we went up, and when we got to the top, it was just torrential downpouring
yeah, the boat had to come find us.
Wow. Yeah.
because we had drifted
Yeah.
so far.
But I mean, they found us pretty quickly, and then we got on the boat and back into the island,
Got-
and
drank a lot of tequila.
Yeah, a lot of tequila. Storm stopped, which was nice. I mean,
Decent.
it doesn't rain very long there, even if it does rain.
Big
Kind of
storm
like
comes
Florida.
through.
Yeah.
Unless it's a hurricane. Or
Unless it's the
tropical
hurricane,
storm.
yeah.
That would have been interesting.
Oh yeah, had nightfall. Yeah, so for people who don't know, so the Bay Islands off Honduras, just outside of them is the second largest barrier reef in the world outside of Australia. So some of the best scuba diving.
Oh, it's
Beautiful.
In the world is
whole
right there.
different world down there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was absolutely beautiful. And he went a few more times, actually.
About 4 or 5 times.
I just could not grasp the concept of breathing underwater. It freaked me out. I mean, I did try snorkeling the next day, which was a little bit easier for me to do, but I just could not. I need to take a course or something that'll help me navigate through that.
Sure. Yeah, definitely something to. I really enjoyed what I did, but I haven't done much since, and it's I don't know, we're climbers as well,
Right.
so mountain people, and so scuba diving
We
was
usually go
was
up,
fun
not
and amazing.
down.
I know, and it was really funny. So when I was doing my certifications, like learning about the bends and depressurization, all the different effects, I was just like, this is pretty much just the inverse of altitude sickness. It's kind
Yeah.
of physiologically what's going on in your body. It's just all about pressures and things like that. And you're like, okay, so I'm very familiar with that. So
Yeah.
you just kind of have to reverse.
And that pressure
Thinking
is
about that.
still,
Yeah.
you still get so much pressure in your ears, and you
Oh,
have to
yeah.
plug your nose and let that
But it's
pressure
weird,
out.
like right after you equalize, though, you just feel normal.
Yeah.
Like
Like
even
in
though
your-
you're
underneath.
40 feet down, it feels normal.
You don't feel that pressure. You just
Yeah.
feel it in your head
yeah.
or your ears or
Oh, yeah.
sinuses. Yeah.
I mean, we went through a training course. Literally, this guy, he was great. I forget his name. Darn it.
His name either.
Anyways, he was fantastic, and he took us through this course. And mind you, he or I have never been trained in
Sure.
the depths of the sea. So
Under the sea.
I know. So he was.
Was his name Sebastian?
It wasn't. I wish it was.
We're gonna call him Sebastian.
We could call him Sebastian.
cool.
His name will come to me though, probably later on in this discussion. But
I just got a message that he's actually on a YouTube right now,
he?
and he's referring to these 2 gringos that came down, and is calling you Ariel, I believe.
he probably,
so.
I would be Ariel. What does
Yeah.
that make you, Flounder?
Well, clearly. I mean, we call him
Clearly,
that sometimes anyway.
Yeah, that's
so,
his nickname. Yeah, but
Swimming around.
he probably had to be so. Sorry. I missed my opportunity. He literally had to be so annoyed with us, but he was such a good instructor. I mean, we went through a crash course of probably 40 minutes, and then we were 40 feet under the water.
Was it kind of like the dive experience kind of class or whatever?
It
Okay.
was,
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
that, like when I first went, I don't know that existed like as an official PADI course or whatever. I think they've added. Was it an official PADI thing or was it just
No,
like
it's just a resort course.
Oh, just a
basically,
resort
yeah.
course.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
a resort course. And
Okay,
I mean,
cool.
he was like holding on to us when we
Yeah.
were floating, like trying to hold on to us and like, decreasing our buoyancy under the water.
buoyancy compensator.
Yes, exactly.
Sounds so fancy for like your inflatable life vest, basically.
But I can't even explain what it was. Again, like it was just beautiful
Yeah.
underneath of the sea, under the sea.
Under the sea.
I'm gonna have that song stuck in my head for the rest of the night. Probably.
Clearly.
We're gonna be singing it later, and we're gonna be like, where did that come from? Oh yeah.
Oh, Scott. Dick.
No, I mean that was probably. What else did you? I mean, the whole entire the island was. There's no paved roads, none.
They're working
All-
on it. So some, but like on our side of the island, not a whole lot.
Nope. They fill their potholes with just dirt.
Yep.
And there are random just cattle everywhere, live, like just walking down the street. I thought it was like very cool.
Yeah.
It was still pretty beautiful though. Like we went on a hike.
Beautiful.
I think we got to the highest point on the island, which was cool.
Yeah.
It's about like 83 feet above sea
Yeah.
level or something.
Pretty,
like that, yeah.
It's pretty, right there.
And I'm obsessed with birds, so a bird nerd. Go ahead, yes.
Nerd alert.
Yes.
That,
And-
again, was for Cameron, our brewmaster. But I'll apply it here.
So there was actually binoculars that our hosts had provided, and I was out there just binocular, taking pictures of the birds.
awesome.
Like
She
just,
would hear a noise and she'd just be,
yes, literally.
Yeah.
But super enjoyed the birds and
not the bees,
Yeah.
just the birds.
not the birds.
Did
No,
you
the-
guys fly through Saba, or what was the airport down?
Oh
there?
man, I thought it was
It was
just the
just
Roatan.
Roatan.
Oh, so
yeah.
we're direct from Miami?
Oh yeah.
It's a road.
On the
Oh,
smallest
okay.
plane you can imagine.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. So it's funny because when I was going through, and again, it was 2005. I was living in Chile at the time, and I had a free international round trip from Santiago that I could split legs, and I was kind of ending my time down there before I moved back here. So I basically got a flight into Cancun and a flight out of Panama City in Panama, not Florida,
Sure.
and then just like took chicken buses for almost 6 months, like overland,
Wow.
to connect the two. And so I ended up
Wow.
going through that area. And at the time, like Honduras was not very bad from a safety point of view. And I know that Roatan and Utila are still pretty okay, but right now
Yeah.
mainland Honduras is kind of, it's the bad place in Central America to be,
Yeah.
basically.
pretty
Roatan wasn't
bad.
too bad though.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I mean, I've been hearing, it's
Yeah.
obviously pretty bad. But I mean, the house that we were staying at, we felt pretty secure.
Cool.
And obviously, all of the neighbors knew each other. And there was one point, this guy, I don't even remember who he was. He came barreling down the street. Kevin. Yes, let's just call him Kevin. With, this spotlight looking for somebody because they had, I don't know, tried to break into one of the houses
Yeah,
or
there was
something.
somebody just coming up and tried to break into a house and
Was caught.
caught wind.
Wow.
Not necessarily caught, but like somebody was
Yeah.
creeping around, so they were just kind of driving around what they call the neighborhood.
Sure.
Right.
I mean,
Neighborhood
they
watch,
don't.
basically.
They don't have addresses there. They just have.
Yeah.
All right, whose house are you staying in?
Yeah.
Yes, and that's the weirdest when we went through, what was it, customs?
Yeah.
Like we landed, I'm like, yay, we made it, and he's like, oh, we have to make it through customs first. I'm like, oh, I was like,
You can still get denied.
I was like, do they deny you? Because this is, mind you, this is my first time traveling internationally. I've
Oh,
never
wow,
traveled
okay.
internationally before. I tried, I think, one day, but not somewhere internationally, to go somewhere fancy. And we got to customs, and like, where are you staying? And I was like, looking at him, I'm like, I don't remember the name of the house. John Tucker. I think that's what it was called. or
John
something.
Tucker.
Yeah.
It wasn't Tucker. It wasn't John Tucker, not the movie, but it was something Tucker.
Juan Tucker.
Yes, exactly.
Mustay.
Qué bueno.
But the airport is tiny, and
Yeah.
when we got there, our friends were there and had beers for us, cervezas,
That's amazing.
and we
Yeah, you walk
chugged
out.
them
You come off the plane and you walk out of customs and there's a bar.
right there, mini bar,
Nice.
They had a beer waiting
tiki
for us.
bar, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, we needed it because
Yeah.
we had been through hell and back trying to get there.
Hungover since Miami, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So speaking of drinking, what are you guys drinking right now?
Oh my. You go first. It's easier for you.
Oh,
to
it's easier
explain.
for me because
Yeah.
it's the exact same as Scott. Oh, it's the Garten Goes with a nice
Goodness.
hint of cucumber.
Yeah, a little cucumber fruit in the Gosa. It's delightful.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Lisa made me, it kind of gave me a preview to one of the summer drinks, which
Name to be determined.
name TBD, but it is delicious. Has a twist on sangria, so I think when that comes on the menu, and champagne,
Yes.
champagne,
Champagne.
champagne, yes,
Strawberries.
yes. Let's just say peaches and strawberries are involved, and it's delightful.
Good to hear.
Yes.
Getting the
But
job done.
it is getting the job done. A little liquid
Gonna eat
courage
me a lot
prior.
of peaches.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my god. And they probably
And have that song stuck in your head
Yeah.
all night.
Yeah. Or lump.
Yeah, this is the podcast where you either get a movie in your head or a song
At
in your
least
head.
It's not Hanson.
No.
Bop.
No.
That's
No.
amazing. So Andy's actually a musician, a rather talented musician as well. Do you you want to tell us about your current band?
I fiddle with the strings every now and then. So yeah, been in and out of musical bands for I don't know, a few years now. Started in 8th grade.
Just a few.
Just a few years. Oh, I'm just
Andy's 16 now.
Yeah,
so
I'm 16
Yes,
now,
I'm
so
a
it's
coug-
only been a
I
couple
am,
years.
Breaking the law
Yeah.
at the same time.
21.
I'm a
21.
cougar.
My parents gave permission.
I had to go and ask them. Like, excuse me, can I date your son?
Your 16-year-old son.
It was an uncomfortable conversation.
But those moments have to happen.
Awkward.
So anyway,
No, he is of legal age for those listening.
In all seriousness,
I may
Yes,
be wearing a
serious.
hat, but this hair is just full of gray.
his mustache may look like a 16-year-old boy who's really trying.
His facial hair looks like a 16-year-old boy, but his hair on his head.
Hey, just because it's
really-
patchy, I try so hard. It takes about 2 months to get this. Okay.
Yes. He really.
I've got the opposite problems.
He literally shaved 2 months ago, and no, I'm kidding. Okay, joking. So
Yeah.
anyways, you're a musician.
I'm a musician.
A musician, if you will.
A
a
music
music
guy.
Yeah, I've been in and out of bands since 8th grade. First band's name was Big Earn, and kind of homage to the movie
Okay.
Kingpin, which was,
Yeah,
was
yeah.
a good time. And then high school, and all of these bands, I've been bass player. I'm a bass player at heart, always played bass. And then, marching band geek. I was the president of my marching band, and played percussion in that. So
Wait, you were the
You were the president of
president?
your marching band.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
just
was the
rewrite
Oh
it.
boy,
So
Scott.
tell us about that.
Sorry, we're gonna have to have
Yeah,
a
it was,
moment to.
Nerd alert.
there it is. Okay. So, I was the president of my marching band at St. Francis de Sales High School. It was wonderful. Shout out to the Stallions.
Oh my god.
It was great. Played snare, played quads, played bass.
What is a quad?
It is a drum that has 4 drums in front of you. So
Ah.
quad 4.
Got it. Okay.
Heavy. All of these strapped to your back as you're marching.
Got it. Okay.
So it was good. And my current endeavor is
Witty.
witty. I play guitar
See what you did there.
in a band called Points of Interest. And we formed in 2019 on the 4th of July at the Doodah Parade.
So your anniversary is coming up.
It is coming up. And we started recording right before everything shut down,
Yeah.
which, obviously just perfect timing.
Perfect timing. Yeah.
But we've been doing pretty well. We've been practicing again. All of us are fully vaccinated, so it's nice that we can actually practice and perform.
Super thankful.
So
for
we're going to
that.
be working on recording again and trying to get some shows, hopefully this summer or fall, in like the local areas.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We have kind of like a pop punk, alternative, screamo sound.
Okay.
So it's like, from the left to the right. And we got like Taking Back Sunday,
A tray.
Coheed and Cambria, Treyu, sound to it. It's a weird sound just because I write the music, my friend Alex writes the music, and the music is great regardless. Like, we love just playing the music, and we just have different writing styles, but everything's just so fun to play.
I've never seen, he's not giving himself enough credit in this band, because honestly, when this pandemic happened, obviously he and I are extreme music fans. So we went to multiple concerts a year. I mean, I can't even tell you how many I went to.
Summer concert series is just gone.
I mean, so when this in the pandemic started happening, they got creative with their music. He would write a piece, send it to Craig, their drummer. Craig would add the drums, send it back to him. Andy would, edit it, then send it to Alex, who's their guitar player. And I've never seen anything like so creative for them to kind of, facilitate music.
Yeah, anybody who's ever heard of the Postal Service, it's kind of what we did was, instead of doing the snail mail, we would, because pandemic happens, everybody buys audio interfaces, so everybody can just, yeah, exactly. So we would just come up with an idea, record it, send it out, and then everybody else would just send their parts back, and then we would just kind of put it together and see how it sounds.
That's really cool.
It is so cool. Like, I mean, you don't know a lot of people, I feel like, at least I've never met anybody that does that. So I thought it was really cool, and he would play it like for me, and I'd be like, oh wow, that's really cool.
Sort of funny how necessity often inspires inspiration.
Right.
Inspires
Totally.
inspiration.
Yeah, I
I
would
really
say-
got my words today. Right? Got the best words. The best words.
We were being
best
so
words.
creative
They're the
earlier.
best.
Yeah, I know, right? I've always kind of said that, so I was a high school literature teacher for a long time, and literature
I didn't
is
know that. That's cool.
the biggest art in my life. Like, I really appreciate music, but the written word is, so even in music, like, the lyrics are often
Yeah.
what attract me first and foremost,
Yeah.
and what I pay the most attention to, and I'm an okay musical ear, not great.
Yeah.
Not the worst, but you know what I mean, somewhere in the middle. But like I know the English language fairly well, and something I would always discuss with my students. Everyone in the modern world wants to write modern poetry. That's free verse, and there are some very talented young writers, but the average high school student, not so much, right? And no one wants to be constrained by format.
Yeah.
Or, things like that. So free verse, but then there's no mastery of the way the language sounds. I think when you put constraints around anything, you kind of automatically rise and find other ways to be creative.
Absolutely.
It's sort of like the director, his first film, when he's really on a limited budget, often makes a better film than when he's given the blank check by Hollywood.
Right.
I think there's a lot of, that's a super solid point. I think a lot of things this past year and a half have made people come up with different ways to go about doing things. I mean, example, like your music, in the fitness industry, like you have to significantly shift how you're reaching clientele.
Yeah. So did you do anything different?
So we did a lot of online digital studio workouts. For those of you that are like, what the hell is she talking about?
Plug.
Oh, here it comes, everybody.
I teach at a fitness studio. Now, during the pandemic, I taught at an old studio, but I ended up going on to a different path and started teaching at this gym called Melt House of Fitness, which was in Westerville, because I really appreciated how they were handling the shift for virtual classes. They were practicing social distancing and really doing everything that you should be doing during a pandemic. But we did a lot of online, like virtual classes. We did private sessions, like one-on-one at a 6 foot distance with masks on. We offered like private sessions in studio. So, that was one way that you really had to get creative with what you were doing, even like creating a curated playlist for them to like, here you can have this playlist of 80s rock music or something like that. But yeah, it's interesting to see, like, you challenge yourself even more, and then you become thankful for the stuff that, you couldn't have, like beer right now.
Yeah, I know. And like sitting down and doing
Having a
this, I know
conversation.
we always talked about, we'd love to get together and hang out after
Totally.
whenever all this is done.
Right.
And now we're all
know.
vaccinated and it
Yeah, it's
feels
lovely.
great. It's 90 degrees outside.
Oh, it's
It's
wonderful,
like-
beautiful.
That
We rode
Hansel's so
our, we
hot
rode our
right
bikes
now.
here, and I almost killed Andy.
Oh.
I stopped abruptly. So I have a Huffy, which is like a 1977 Huffy, which my friend Ashlyn gave me out of her basement, and it's rusty and it creaks. And it was free bike. And I'm like, sure, I'll take it. It was in the middle of the pandemic, and I was like, oh, this would be great to ride to your place and back.
You have
when
to
she lived
backpedal to break it.
I do have to
Oh, that's
backpedal. Oh, yeah, and it's
amazing.
purple, and her name is Helga. Just to
Helga?
Helga the Huffy.
Helga Huffy?
Helga. And
Would
so
you like a Hefeweizen? Hefeweizen?
Well, they taste so good.
We have a Landhaus Hefeweizen for Helga the Huffy.
okay, that was pretty good.
Hey, look, grew.
So, Scott and I are so gullible. We're like, where? But I didn't hear him. He told me there was a yellow light, and so I backpedaled, and I was braking and skidded my tires. He almost.
And I have a front brake only,
so
so I was following pretty closely, and
Yeah.
So
I
like
didn't
I
hear
felt the
him.
back wheel go up, but I didn't go forward. I kept my
I'm
balance.
so glad that he didn't. I didn't hear him say go through the yellow light. So
Years of climbing and snowboarding, I still have balance.
yeah,
Some motorcycling as well.
And
so-
motorcycling,
yeah.
So, yeah.
that's right.
Which is another thing. Yeah, I went. Speaking of, last weekend too was another beautiful weekend, and even now you kind of have to get up sort of early, but not too early, to get out there before the sun just
Kills you.
kills you.
Yeah.
And I rode from Grandview area, like up Riverside Road into Bridge Park, that Dublin
Nice.
area.
Yep.
Just kind of went back over and hit up High Street, and it was a good ride. It was a nice just a.
Little loop.
Yeah, to get
quick
out
loop around
there.
the city. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get out as often as I'd like, and that was nice.
Yeah. Yeah. We got to get out and ride sometimes.
Yeah,
soon.
for sure. Lisa was saying that she's got a bike too, that she wants to hop in on the
I
game.
clearly need to get my motorcycle
I can
license.
borrow your mom's scooter.
I could, her Vespa, scooter along.
It's definitely worth taking the class though. So
Yeah.
I know I don't know. if
That's how
they're
I learned it. So
back
Just don't tell my
open
dad.
yet. But it's something like, I mean, it used to be $50. I think it probably still is. You
Oh.
can register with Ohio BMV,
Okay.
and I think it's like basically a 2-day class. You do like one classroom day. You got like a day in the parking lot, like
Right.
with I had a little
There's like
Suzuki
Honda,
kind of thing.
yeah, there's
or
like
whatever,
Honda 350s
250s,
and stuff,
whatever,
yeah.
And yeah, it's really, and then as part of that class, they administer the test.
Mm-hmm.
So you actually leave that, and you have to take your paperwork to the BMV to get your license
Okay.
credential
Endorsed, yeah.
endorsement, right? Yeah. But it was, I mean, perfect way to do it. Like absolutely.
Oh, then you learn so much from that class too. It's
Oh, yeah.
it's a really good class.
Yeah.
So how does one? So I know you have to take probably the written test, but how do you take? I guess do you have to drive around? Like,
No,
or, like, 'cause
you
obviously
don't.
You can't.
It's
know,
not. It's not like a driver's
car.
test. Yeah, it's not like a driver's test where you actually have to go out. It's just a written test. But like
Hmm.
the test, it's like the course though runs you through all of the scenarios to where like, oh, there's an obstacle in the middle of the road that you can't avoid.
Yeah.
So how do you ride over top of it, kind
Okay.
of thing.
And so I'm pretty sure, and things may have changed because it's been years since I've done this, but I did look it up for someone like maybe 2 years ago, and it was about $50 still. So,
Okay.
and basically you had, if I remember remembering right, I think you have to go, you can pick up like a free motorcycle rules book or like pick one up at the BMV, and then you have to make an appointment or go in and take the written test.
For your
you take your
temps.
test first to get your temps.
Yeah.
okay.
And then you need your temps to take the class.
Got it.
And they've got a classroom where they discuss the actual physics of, motorcycling and all that stuff, all the things you need. And I think you actually take the written test for the license in there.
Yeah, you do.
And then they give
they
you a
grade it.
whole day of
Yeah.
practice where you're in a parking lot and they're walking
Okay.
through. And then the last section was every person in the class takes their practical test, which if you didn't take that class, you would
Yeah, I
have
guess
to
that makes
go
sense.
and to the BMV and have someone watch you as you're driving around the
Yeah.
parking lot doing
Got
this
it.
test. It's in the class. It's all stuff you've practiced. So like everyone
Sure.
in the class passed, Right.
And yeah, so I guess it just never really clicked with me because
Totally.
that's what they did. So it's just like I didn't really think of it as that.
For sure. And I know for me, like, and for most people probably, if you finish that class, and especially if you've never ridden before, you're not ready to like get on your bike and take a long road
Let's
trip.
do a
I mean,
270 loop.
you're still gonna like want a small bike. You're gonna want to like putter around town a little bit, get on the scooter, get
Sure.
comfortable with it, and then maybe eventually get on the highway. Like,
Right.
I didn't get on the highway for months.
I didn't either.
Oh, gosh, that makes me so nervous. Even when he is riding his bike,
Yeah.
it makes me like so nervous. I'm like, please don't go on the highway.
But the ironic thing is, like, I think that the highways are safer statistically on a bike than like a lot of the other roads. It's the
Yeah.
cross traffic, the people
Yeah.
turning left in front of you, hitting you from behind, stuff like that. That on a highway you can kind of maintain your lane. People see you better, and you can you know what I mean, and you can
Yeah.
kind of pass and keep your space.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So does my participation on a bird scooter give me,
I don't know. I've seen people
Groundwork.
wipe out on those things.
Just
I
a
have
low
experience. I have
slide.
experience on a two-wheeled powered vehicle. Is it called a
Yes.
vehicle? Probably not. Device.
Device.
Scooter.
A very small
A
two-wheeled
very
device.
small two-wheel device.
Hey, to
No.
each their own. There's,
Well-
there's some
This is what it is.
Start to see more of those now,
You
like
are.
ever. And there's like different brands. There's like not just birds anymore. There's lime.
Bird,
Oh,
lime.
the lime,
Lyft
yeah.
has their own now.
Yeah.
Do they
There's-
really?
What's
I
the
don't
think
orange
so.
one? There's like an orange one.
I don't know.
No, I have no
People are
idea.
probably just stealing birds and limes and
They're
painting them.
trackers.
Oh, if you're tech savvy, you can probably get rid of those.
Wow.
Probably.
Well,
Don't
is that
do
your,
it.
Is that your
do that
is
at
that
home.
your pun? Like, or your lead in? Like, if you're tech savvy, contact me.
I'll show you.
I'll show you.
I'll show you how you can make hundreds of dollars converting birds into your very own scooter service.
Just send me $50 in advance.
Oh my god.
Send it to my PayPal,
PayPal plug.
Cash Pay, or whatever. Yeah.
No, so when you went? Was that on when I was in Charlotte? Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I went to Charlotte last weekend,
Nice.
which was nice, different, but
Okay.
nice. They have we went to a ton of like local breweries, which was really cool.
Cool.
Which one of the best things to do while traveling is check out all the local breweries.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Especially on Fifth Avenue and Columbus, Ohio.
Any of
Correct.
you who ever
Green
traveled to
Butte
Columbus,
area.
Ohio, and traveled down the Avenue of Fifth, it is a great place right across from.
You will smell French fries and make your way in.
There you go.
The Avenue of Fifth. Here
The
at
Avenue
Endeavor
of Fifth.
Brewing and Spirits. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I think
Friends with Yoda.
My dad must be listening in because he just texted me no Vespa.
Oh, okay. So,
this is
I've
a
got to
good
say, this is
segue.
a great segue. You got a story about your dad to tell.
I do.
About this. So
Yes.
this whole genesis started a couple of weeks ago. We met up with a couple of other friends out here. We have some babies and some things, and we're sitting there, and I invited them on tonight.
Oh yeah.
A, because they're awesome, and yeah, why not? But
course.
B, go.
So my dad is my best friend and probably the best human I know, but he is he's always watching sports and watched me play sports my entire life, and
College basketball story over here.
let's not start there, but he has always had this radio voice, or always is on the radio and listening to podcasts, listening to sports FM. And so I was like, oh my god, it'd be so cool if he could come on and talk. He'd think you'd get a kick out of it. And so I texted him that, hey dad, like I want to go on a podcast a couple Fridays from now. And he was like, no. And I was like, we'll talk about it. And so when I went over there the next day, he was like, so were you pretty loaded last night when you were talking to me about a podcast? And I was like, no, Dad. I was like, yes, we were drinking, but yeah, he's just starting to get out again after amidst the craziness of the pandemic. And he went out at a restaurant for the first time last night in Westerville. And my dad is known for terrible customer service. It is just, if you're with him, it just happens. Bad customer service in restaurants, specifically in the service industry. Now, if he came to Endeavor, that wouldn't happen. But,
We have some pretty good bar staff.
we have some
that would
really,
hopefully
really
give them very good
fantastic bar
service.
staff. However, we had my nephew's soccer game and baseball game, and they ended up going out to a restaurant, which I will not name, in Westerville. And apparently the only thing they had there was pizza. Like everything else was off the menu. It was just the pizza. And my sister was texting me like, oh, the terrible customer service. And I felt so terrible for him because that's his first restaurant out in a year and a half, and he has bad customer service. I was like, well, that doesn't really surprise me there with that. But we're going to convince him at some point, since he is watching right now, to come here and get on
He
this.
could always call in. We
Oh, he
have the
could
technology.
call in.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's not as easy to pull up like a Zoom or something. We could,
Okay.
yeah, but we have it pretty easy to call. We could connect your phone via Bluetooth, assuming your phone has a Bluetooth
I'm
capabilities.
assuming my
We all have the technology.
my
Yeah.
phone's going to go off at any moment, and I'm going to get a notification. He's going to say no.
Okay. Okay.
We'll see what he says.
Well, the offer is out there. If you'd like to call in, if it's for 2 minutes or 20, please do.
Please do. Yeah.
Call in show.
We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
And of course, all of our many viewers will probably just start blowing up your phone once
Sure.
you connect it.
Yes,
Just
absolutely.
then we'll just have a call-in show. So.
Right, yeah.
Gonna be amazing. So.
No.
Yeah.
But I know everybody in my family specifically is very much looking forward to getting out. We're all vaccinated, and so we're very much looking forward to enjoying the summer.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're all kind of hoping, touch wood, that that everything's successful, nothing relapses.
Right.
That it's fantastic. Signs are looking up, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
Never know.
Choke on it. Strawberry
know.
seed.
We're very optimistic, though.
Go ahead and drink some water. That's awesome. Yeah. So unfortunately, your dad couldn't make it.
Yes.
Again, call in. But so here we are, hanging out, having
hanging
some
out.
beers,
Yeah.
yesing a little bit. We've got the lobster truck here tonight.
Yeah, and
To
I
Real Smoke.
always see it on the Instagrams that
Yeah.
you share, and I've always wanted to try it, so I'm looking
I'm
forward to
excited
actually
try it.
trying
Yeah.
that tonight.
Definitely gonna have a
Lobster.
lobster roll or something after.
Yeah,
this.
for sure.
It's gonna be delightful.
Any food truck really. I enjoy food from food trucks.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't really necessarily disappoint.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of in Amanda. You might agree with this. He's sort of a carny.
Oh my
You know,
gosh.
he has very small hands.
Very small hands.
He
That's
likes-
why I try to hide them underneath the table or behind my beer.
No, he enjoys food very
Yeah.
much.
Never hold it with the Whopper. Never.
He is the only person I think I know that can eat whatever he wants and remain the same size. He was what were you saying yesterday about your belly? Like
Yeah.
my skin just stretches. It doesn't get bigger, it just stretches.
And it just it feels
It just
so
gets
uncomfortable.
firm.
Yeah, I'm not too far off. I have a bit of a dad bod going on lately because I have 2 kids and
Adorable
You are a dad.
children.
all of that. I am a dad. It gives me license to have a dad bod and tell dad,
And dad
jokes,
jokes, yes,
which are kind of some of my favorite things in the world to begin with. So that's nice. Got that going for me.
Yeah. I mean, candy is probably we have a whole entire cabinet in our
Dedicated
home
to candy and
dedicated to
sweets.
candy.
Oh wow.
And I wonder why I gained weight. Like when I started dating,
But
just
it's
all of the
my
candy.
candies.
It is. I know. Well, I'm sorry, but when you have Sour Patch Kids in
Is-
the cupboards, it's
Is-
hard for me
is
to
that how he got you in the van?
correct.
Mm.
Lured me.
Yeah.
Yep.
The bait.
Yes.
Debate. It's easy.
Would you like
Well,
some
with-
Sour Patch Kids? Yes.
Especially with that.
Oh no! Actually, when we met,
Actually, he couldn't
When we
drive.
met, I had
It was a
grown the
scooter.
mustache for about 6 months,
Okay.
and it got a little bit fuller than this. And I was pulling off the handlebar, starting to get the little curl going,
Mm-hmm.
and had that going for a while. But every now and then, just you come up with a change, you just have to shave it. But
Fitzy's waving at me, so
Fitzy's
I'm waving back
Oh,
at him.
lovely.
Hi.
I'm gonna place our next drink order.
Oh, that'd be
Oh, yeah.
fantastic.
So what?
Man.
what would you guys like to drink?
Yes, please let us know.
Let's see. Okay.
My dad said he
Awkward
can't
pause.
dial in because he still has a flip phone.
It doesn't matter because he'd just be calling your phone number.
Which is so,
So,
false. This is exactly why he
false.
should be on the show because he's
False.
funny and he does not have a flip
So
phone.
as long as your phone can call her number and you can have a conversation, you can call in.
Yes.
So
we'll see if it rings. I don't know.
So any other of our many listeners who want to call in, call
Who know
555-6464.
What number is that?
I don't know. That's not a real number. All the numbers in the movie start with 555.
1-800-SAFE-AUTO.
Oh
Pick
my
up
God.
the phone.
No,
the call
no,
is
no, because
free.
now that song's going to be
And
stuck
now
in
we're
my
just
head.
advertising
This
for-
jingle.
I know.
Oh my God.
Now we receive a copyright infringement. Anyway,
8675309.
same deal.
Yes. I mean, what were we talking about before? Candy, cabinets. Oh,
candy,
your first
cabinets.
date when you lured me.
First date,
My dad
luring
is
it in.
actually calling me.
Oh, okay. Well,
hold,
we
please.
need to pair, and I need to know your drink.
Oh, this is a wonderful.
Hey, Father. Hold on just a second, and we'll connect you.
Ladies
Oh,
and
no,
gentlemen,
hold
this
on
is
just
a
a
wonderful
second.
time.
Oh, you're fine.
If you turn on your Bluetooth and go discoverable, you should have a Rodecaster Pro on.
Technology.
Technology's hard. I'm going to hand it off. I should know what I'm doing. I am in the tech
Now we
space.
see where you get the technology from.
I got another technology story we can talk about later too. Yep.
Awesome.
And then it's on the Roadcaster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dan
we-
Campbell, are you live on air?
I am.
Oh,
Oh, there he is.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Campbell, my father.
Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for prodding me to come on.
Of course,
Yeah,
of
you
course.
know-
Yeah, this is
What
this is
kind of-
really fun.
What kind would we? What would we be if we weren't prodding
What kind
people?
of daughter would she be?
peer pressuring
Yeah.
you to join the? So yes, Dad. Have you been listening the entire time, or did you just dial in?
After when you texted me, I
Oh.
tuned in then.
So he's been on the entire time. Look at that.
Well, there
Almost.
you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Would you like
Yeah,
the
I
same
got-
cocktail?
I had to try to, comment on the Vespa thing because that could get ugly. Amanda's,
On a
other
Vespa.
than basketball skills, she's kind of klutz.
I was gonna say I think I have pretty good balance.
No, I'm teasing.
On the bicycle, she's not too bad, but I haven't really seen her on
Yeah, but the
anything
backwards, she has
motorized.
to break backwards. I mean, come on.
That's a good
She'll
one.
try and backpedal on a Vespa and just be like letting it ride forward while she just jumps off of it.
Exactly.
There you go.
Dad, are you having a cocktail at the moment?
Yeah, it's a bottle of water.
Oh.
You like that little
Yeah.
water and water?
It's a good mix.
Well, I'm about to crack the Glenlivet.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
He's a big bird.
Yeah, I'm a Scotch guy.
Bourbon
You know,
is good,
last
yeah.
name
Little
kind of.
the Scotch and Glenlivet is a good combination. It's kind of like the Grey Goose and vodka.
Well, yeah, like anything with a Glen in it.
Yes. Any Glen will do. So did you say
Any
Glenlivet?
old Glen.
Did you say Glenlivet or
Glenlivet.
Glenfiddich? Is that
Glenfiddich is fine.
Fiddich? Yeah.
Glenmorangie is fantastic as
Yeah.
well.
Have you had any of the cask finishes from Glenmorangie as well? So
I have. The sherry one is outstanding.
it is. A couple years back I had the Madeira finish that
Right,
I
tried
haven't
that too.
seen since, and it blew me away in terms of
Yeah.
it was a $45 bottle of scotch or something like that back in the day, but. I mean, it was
Right.
crazy, and for that price point, it was fantastic. I mean, they're 10.
Yeah, I mean,
if
Yeah, I mean, I've tried all the scotches, and I can't do certain ones because I got a little too carried away initially with them.
which ones can't you do?
It's kind of like why I can't do wild turkey anymore because the wild turkey actually invaded my privacy the last time I did it. So it was like, no, I can't ever drink bourbon again, and I haven't. So, but
Yeah.
I can't do J&B Scotch.
Yeah.
Can't do Cuddy Sark. Can't do some of the blendeds. They're
Yeah.
not very good.
The kind of the low end blend. I mean, some of the higher end or custom blends can be really tasty.
Well, no,
but,
the Doors is fine, and Johnny
Sure.
Walker. Johnny Walker Black's really good for a blend.
Sure, especially for the price point,
Yeah.
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 So, Dad, tell us about your dining experience last night. I was kind of talking about that a little bit.
Well,
but
why can't you give out the name of the restaurant
I just,
so people
try
don't
not
so
just.
people don't go there because it was like
Oh.
horrible service.
Well, we're trying not to
Was it that,
diss
like,
any service
That
industry
airline that's
right now.
American.
No, it wouldn't matter. I could go to any Cameron Mitchell restaurant, and I'm still going to get crappy service. It's just me. Follows me around.
It's like the storm cloud.
It's like
over
the
here.
hex.
It's a hex. I just thought it was hysterical. So I actually am not super clear.
Ah.
The hex.
You what?
No, I'm sorry. He played a sound effect. We have some sound
I
effects.
heard that.
Okay. So you were with my sister, my brother-in-law, and then our two nephews, Sloan and Oliver. And Sloan just had played a soccer game, which they won. So they're advancing to the next round in the championship. And then he immediately had to go to his baseball game. Did they win that?
They did.
Fantastic. Oh. Whoa, that's a delayed
pause,
not. The delay.
He got us good.
They did.
Well, I mean, come on. It's 11-year-olds playing baseball. I have to think, I mean, it's the kind of baseball game you watch where you're going, why are they doing this and why are they doing that? Why aren't they doing that? I should quit complaining and just coach a kid's team.
Yeah, it sounds like you're going to be the next coach for next year.
Sounds like something Savannah and I have been chatting to you about for
years. I sit there and watch these kids and I just get frustrated because the coaches don't have any idea what's going on. And of course, I'm not going to name any names, just like a restaurant, but it does drive me a little bit crazy. Because I played a lot of baseball when I was a kid. Like it's soccer now. Back then it was baseball. Nobody played soccer when we were kids. It's hard to get people to stay interested in baseball. They're trying all kinds of gimmicks now. And for someone who's like a baseball purist, it kind of drives me a little bit crazy. But,
yeah.
If you're a baseball fan, you know what I mean. Let's move the mound back. Let's only play 7-inning doubleheaders. Let's put a guy on second base in the 10th inning, of every game to start the inning. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, how much farther can we go? It gets a little carried away. But anyway, I still watch it.
Yeah, it's fun watching.
Because one of the hardest things to do in any sport is hit a baseball. Trying to hit a round object with a round object is difficult.
Yeah.
Especially at high speeds,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I stepped away from that sport. Went a different route.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were pretty good at what you did, the sport you played.
What sport did you play?
I played basketball growing up, all through high school, elementary school, middle school, high school, and then I ended up playing at the collegiate level for 4 years.
Nice.
So it was fun. I had a blast, made a lot of great friends. I can't believe it was so long ago. It's crazy to think about that it was over.
Well, you should be in the Heidelberg Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's right. You did go to Heidelberg.
My gosh, that's
I
right.
totally
Scott,
forgot that. So we have a family connection with
Yes.
Heidelberg. Yes, we have talked about this.
Because I forget, your family went to Heidelberg?
Yeah, so my mom went to Heidelberg,
Oh my gosh,
and
that's so crazy.
Several cousins and aunts and relatives, but my uncle, he very recently just passed away, but
I'm sorry to hear that.
he lived a long, wonderful life, and he was a professor there for a long time. So Dave Baker, he actually set up the National Center for Water Quality Research at Heidelberg. So the whole science lab
completely forgot about
is
this.
named after Dave Baker. Like the
Yes.
building of that science
wow.
lab is like my uncle who, he's
yeah.
just my
He was
mom's
my
sister's husband.
professor.
And
He was,
he's,
I'm pretty sure.
yeah. I mean, he's just a beautiful human being, and did really good work, great research up there. And like his whole thing is monitoring pesticide levels and like all the data we have over the last number of decades of all the stuff that's in our water that gets into there from pesticide residue and pharmacies and all this kind of stuff. Like that's the data that's coming from Heidelberg randomly.
That is so crazy. I didn't know about that. But they had just built that beautiful glass. Like,
Yeah, the new thing
The
that-
new, right, when
Maybe
I was.
10 years ago, 15,
Yeah, 5.
3-2 last year. Yeah, clearly.
Yeah,
clearly.
no, I mean, they had just built that, and it's a beautiful building.
Sure.
And he was I remember him specifically, he was a fantastic professor. So, but of course, they put all the cool amenities in after I graduated, like a new gym. They put a bar in a dorm. Like, it was just, oh, yeah. But
Yeah.
How do they get around that?
And so were you a fighting princess?
you know
Or
what?
the
I
student
feel it was
princess.
student prince,
Yeah.
and since then they have not. They are no longer the student princes. I feel like
right.
they changed it to the Berg.
Yeah.
And Dad, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember specifically.
I don't know. If any name needed to be changed, it would be that one.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
Seems a little pointed.
Especially when applied to like a women's basketball team, like the Fighting Princes.
Exactly. The student princes.
fighting
I mean,
student
that's-
princes.
Student Princes, yeah.
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 I mean, we really do.
I
I mean,
always say fighting. But.
I didn't, it never,
Nobody used it.
no.
I mean,
we
nobody
didn't.
used that term the whole time. I've never heard it said once by any of the athletes.
No.
So,
We were
you know, it was
most,
more like the Berg.
yes, we
It's
always
just the
would,
Berg.
do the Berg. And I think it I think we might have started it, to be completely honest with you.
Okay.
Um,
It really screams that song, the Berg's the Berg.
Oh
You
my
know what I mean?
God.
Like that should have really been the theme song.
Yeah.
Well,
like
I'll
at least like a
suggest that,
fight
yeah.
cheer or something. I
I'll
don't
message
know.
my,
Yeah,
I'll
it
message,
could be because you just substitute Berg for Bird. It's
Yeah.
perfect.
It just it
Yeah,
works.
I'll
that's
message
outstanding.
I'll message my
Call
friend.
that one in.
All the Family Guy clips, just
Yeah. Just add it to the puzzle.
I'll phone my friend who still she was a college coach there. She coached there for quite some time, and she just, I guess, stepped down from coaching and went a different direction. But I'll send her a message and make sure she's aware of the Bird.
a well-crafted text.
Yes,
Yeah.
a well-crafted one, absolutely.
Lovely.
Oh, man.
Well, since we're dropping names, there is a park in Cleveland named after my father.
Oh, yes, there is. Go for it, Dad. Chat about it.
Yeah.
No, Campbell Park. I mean, he was just real involved in. He was mayor of the city for like 14 years and was involved in flood prevention and stuff like that. Started the boys' little leagues, and he was involved. And he was a good Methodist, if there is such a thing. And so when he resigned, they decided to name a park after him. So it's right behind the city hall. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was in the city of Willoughby Hills. So we have our family reunions there every other year.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of which, we have it this year. So.
Oh,
There.
Andy,
Yeah,
this
get
is
the-
going to be your first family
It's a nice big
reunion.
family reunion.
Oh yeah, man, get your speech ready. You have to stand up and make
I'll
a
see
speech.
what I can do.
All right.
All right.
We have
Well,
a guest. We have a
special guest coming in here.
Lisa.
Hi. Oh, I have to just get close.
Yeah.
don't
So
know how to do this.
my dad is on the phone right now,
Oh, hi,
chatting
Dad.
with us. This is Lisa.
Hey, what's up?
Hi.
Hey, Lisa, you said?
I am Lisa, like Simpson,
Nice
one of
to
the bartenders.
nice to not see you to speak to you.
Indeed. Likewise. I'm
Yeah.
imagining your presence here.
Yes. He's about, I don't know, 5'11".
Okay.
He has one tattoo.
Nice.
It's a
5'11".
barbed wire. You have a few.
Excellent.
She
I
has
have
a few.
handful.
Yeah, just
One
a
or
few.
two.
One or two. Lisa just got engaged.
It's
Dad.
true.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yep.
Very
and
excited.
She went wedding dress shopping recently.
It's
Which is
true.
exciting. But yeah, so we are, I am currently drinking, I'm sure you heard, Lisa's cocktail, which is yet to be named. TBD.
We're
We're-
brainstorming. It's going to be
What
punny.
is it?
I can guarantee it will be
It
punny.
is. I'll let
It's
Lisa
a
What is
explain.
in the drink?
It's a sparkling sangria, if you will. It's
Ah.
yes, it's pretty tasty if I do say
It's
so
delicious.
myself. But yeah, muddled strawberries with a little bit of lemon juice, our house-made peach demerara syrup, and champagne. Simple.
Sounds delicious.
It's very refreshing.
It's a little
delicious.
too good.
We were,
But I wish I was there. I would try one of them.
well, I mean, there is
Next
still,
time.
you know, Dad, this is a perfect opportunity to make your way to Endeavor Brewing and Spirits off of Fifth
Well,
Avenue.
I know I could do that. Except I'm at least a couple fingers of a good Scotch in. So
So
it's
it's
probably
like,
not a
That's
good
fair.
idea.
So next time, because
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have scotch here too. I'm just saying.
oh,
It's true. We aim to please.
yes, we could always call
Yeah.
you an Uber, Dad,
Yeah,
or
I know.
Lyft. You know, just want to make sure we're calling on
Or,
both
or
of those brands.
yellow cab. Does yellow cab still exist?
I think so.
I'll plug the.
Is there still a
I'll
phone
go
book?
old school. I sat on one at a bar the other day.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So there was it
Needed
accurate?
a little booster seat.
Or was it like from like 1987
Right.
and they just still had it in the back?
I used to be a regular at a bar that they had the tallest bar top, and I called it the Alice in Wonderland bar because you felt like a small child sitting at this thing, and it was just through an alley from my apartment. So I brought phone books from home and just left them there, and just I'd sit on phone books like a child at a bar.
And where was this?
I was
bar?
of age. Oh God, I can't remember what it's called.
Was it in Columbus?
On King, that's a name. We won't.
I don't remember.
Me either. I wonder why. Anyway, I better get back behind the bar. Dad, it was nice to virtually meet you.
The same to you. I'll keep that invitation in mind.
Excellent.
Thank
We'll
you.
be here. Cheers.
I would just like to note that when I invited him, it was a hard pass. But then when a
When Lisa comes in
stranger,
and
when a
is
stranger bartender comes in, he's like, "Absolutely, I'll be there."
No knock on you, babe, but it is a bartender.
like, yeah, I mean, Lisa's got the pull.
She's got the goods.
She's oh, jeez. Oh man. But so now you have started to drink the scotch. Is anybody from the family coming over tonight to visit you? Or
No,
you-
I don't believe so. Aaron and Kevin went out of town, and
Yep.
Christopher, I don't think he likes me. And
That's my brother, our brother, or my
I
brother.
saw
his son.
Savannah and Steve last night, and Billy and Becca are they still in the family? So anyway, that pretty much wraps it up.
Oh boy.
It's all of my
That's
kids.
a whole different discussion.
Other
But
topic of conversation.
that's completely inappropriate. But
It's all good. Yeah.
Anyways.
Where's the sound effect for that?
Where's our sound effect for that? Wah, wah, wah.
Well, yeah, there's plenty of topics for the future. Yeah.
Yeah. Which means.
What
you
was
know,
that? Was that a cicada? What was
It
that?
was.
sound?
Well, I
yes,
mean,
it
they
was
are
a
coming,
cicada.
though.
They are coming. Cicadas are coming, much like winter.
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember 17 years ago?
I do. Yeah, I was at a
It was
summer
wild.
camp down in.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah.
17 years ago.
I know.
How old
Very
I'm trying
loud.
to do the math in my head right now.
Well, you
was-
weren't born yet. We've established that. You
yeah,
might
that's
have.
true. I was
You might have been
-1.
in utero. Were you in utero at that
Yeah.
point?
Oh, yes.
probably?
Maybe a twinkle in the eye.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, that's crazy. It's
Good
been
times.
Yeah. Oh, those cicadas are crazy though. We're gonna have a good time when they come out
I'm
here.
looking forward to it, right?
Yeah.
Who was the person we went out to Dana and Alex's place, and they had some friends over that are from Canada,
Yeah.
and the cicadas aren't.
It's a new thing.
It's a
for
new
them.
thing for these folks, and so they were, apparently she's been Googling cicadas, and
Yeah,
she's
she's
like,
not a bug person.
She's just like, I don't even know what to expect. I'm like, well, they're just really large, very loud bugs that shed and leave their skin around.
Yeah,
It
they're
tastes
she's
great
like-
in chocolate.
carcasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually read a couple of really good cicada recipes the other day.
Huh.
I'd give them a try.
Yeah.
You have to
Maybe we
take
should
the
bring-
wings off.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a good source of protein, right?
Oh yeah,
No, hard pass. Hard
crunchy.
Hard like their shell.
pass.
Or like their shell, like the
Lunch.
exoskeleton they come out of.
Yes.
A
Oh
little off on
man.
the timing there, but should have had it ready.
Still works.
Man.
That's awesome. So I've got to say though, if you're a Scotch fan, we are going to be releasing our 2 whiskeys this summer. We're still waiting on federal label approval in the state of Ohio. Database registration takes a lot longer than
been
you'd
a
ever
long time
expect it
coming,
to.
though.
But we have a 100% malt whiskey recipe that we used barley from Scotland. So we imported some floor malt from Speyside, Scotland, and made it with a Scottish origin whiskey yeast as well, and are aging it
Wow.
right here. And so we're going to have some bottles of that out this late summer.
Wow. Yeah, I'll definitely be there for that.
Yeah, and it's young, so it's not going to have the complexity of a don't
Right.
expect a 12-year Scotch. I mean, we're a 3
Well, I mean,
brewery, and we're young.
it's not gonna. Yeah, it's not gonna be smooth, right? But
well,
I mean,
it'll
the
be
flavor
smooth.
is what matters.
It will be smooth. It won't
Yeah.
be as complex or nuanced. And we've set some
Right,
aside, so we've set a couple barrels aside that we will hold on to for a while.
Sweet.
Yeah, and actually, so when when we first barreled it out, and my daughter wasn't even born yet, but I took 2 small 5-gallon barrels, and I filled it with our first malt whiskey run, and their 21st birthday presents for my 2 children, who are now almost 4, and just over 1 year old. So it's those will be set aside for quite a while. So
Yeah.
it's going to be. I'll have to get you a taste of some of those
Ooh.
Yes.
in 20 years.
Yeah, I remember. I remember somebody gave my brother-in-law when they had my sister and he had triplets. Gave him a bottle of Chivas
Mm-hmm.
that was already 12 years old or whatever. So they didn't open it till their 21st birthday.
Oh yeah.
So it turned out to be 21, 31, 33, 34 years old. So that was pretty amazing.
Yeah. That was on their 21st, right? Yes, you said that.
Yep.
Wow. Time flies
Sure does.
Mm.
When you're having fun.
when you're
I know,
having
it's
fun.
gonna be my kids are gonna be hosting this 20 years from now. So hi, future kids, enjoy those drinks.
When
and
you look
we're on
back in the
YouTube,
archives,
Enjoy,
yeah.
yeah.
you know, it fits in row.
Think it'll be called YouTube then, or something different?
I don't know, YouTubery.
Right.
It's gonna go to be not cool, then it will become retro, then it will be cool again. You know,
Right.
I don't know.
Nice.
Just like skorts.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Skorts are coming back in fashion.
Well,
believe
people
it or
aren't
not.
realizing that. Oh my God, this skirt has shorts in it, and they're freaking out.
What is happening? When is that?
I don't know. I saw it on TikTok.
Did you? It's all these damn Gen Zers. They don't understand that
Yeah.
you know, they're not taking advantage of the skort. The benefits of a skort.
So, and I wonder seriously, like, so when my kids, when Fitz and Roe are much older, when we're drinking that scotch with them at their 21st birthdays, what are they going to think about something like YouTube? Like, is this like kind of like the way we see the Nintendo
know.
Entertainment System,
Right.
like the Power Pad and the Duck Hunt and the, you know what I mean? Like
Love
the
that as a
Atari.
kid. Love
like-
it now.
Yeah, well, clearly, but like, is it a point of nostalgia or is it a technology that will have evolved?
I had an Intellivision.
I don't even know what that is.
I know. It's like the first gaming system ever.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a really solid
Google
point.
it.
I
Google
will. I mean, that's a
But-
really solid point.
I think it
Scott.
was Breakout was on there. Breakout.
but maybe it's something that's more like, because, you know, this is like people making their own content that's more like TV. So the difference
Sure.
between color TV or high
Right.
definition
Yeah.
or 4K or 8K or, you know, whatever's new, or even like music, you know, is it vinyl? Is it an 8-track? Is it a cassette tape?
But even
Is
then,
it,
people
you
are
know-
all about the vinyl nowadays.
I
Like
know.
I'm
Kind of
collecting.
like-
No,
all
I
the
was all
vinyl.
about the vinyl all along.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
yeah, when it came out, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
the
I mean,
same-
that's the way the music was meant to be listened to on vinyl.
right, like all of the analog. It's just like tape is never coming back. It's
Yeah.
just going to be vinyl or digital.
VHS.
Tape was inferior in every way.
Yeah.
Or at
I
least,
do remember my cassette player though.
yeah.
My first cassette.
What was your first cassette?
My first cassette was Aerosmith. Man, it was I don't remember the name of the album with the red and the white wings.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
Dream On.
You're welcome.
Dream On. Yeah.
Yeah. Did Dan get that one for you?
We used to rock out
He
with
did.
Dream On in the minivan with the
Oh,
Chrysler
yeah.
minivan with the wood grains on the side, like my brother and I.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
driving around and
Amanda
going to-
belted
going to
it out at
practice,
4
you know.
years old.
Yeah. Oh, it was amazing.
I did sing it when I was 4.
That's well
Dreamo,
done, Dad.
though. It was Dreamo, not Dream On, just Dreamo.
Well done, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dreamo, Dreamo.
He's definitely got
Well-
good taste in music.
Yes.
What was your first cassette tape?
Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
what was your
everyone.
first cassette tape, Dan?
First cassette, I'd rather go back and tell you
Oh, I
when
was
my
gonna
first,
say
First
like
first
yeah,
album,
first,
first
album, first
album,
album,
yeah.
first vinyl.
Yeah.
my first album ever was, of course, Meet the Beatles.
Nice.
I remember growing up and sitting on our kitchen table, which is actually a picnic table that was in the kitchen because it was
Right, and it
cheaper.
wasn't-
We
it
didn't have a
wasn't
lot
a
of money,
couch
but I didn't know
on
it.
the-
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember it coming on the radio. I want to hold your hand from the radio. It's playing it over and over again. It just freaked me out. I had to go get this. I immediately, Mom, I got to go get this out.
That's awesome.
So
That's so
she took me
cool.
to get it.
It's a pretty cool first album to have.
Yeah.
It's a nice one.
Yeah.
I still have it, actually.
Oh, well.
He has multiple vinyls.
Yeah, I have quite a bit of vinyl. Nothing like some people. But
Yeah, actually, 2 weeks from now, I'm going to be out in Colorado, and you guys should all tune in because Cameron and Sean, who are both really into music and have gotten into vinyl and like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Cameron's dad, for his birthday this last year, kind of at the beginning of the pandemic, said, "Cameron, you got to be sure to be around because I'm sending you your birthday present."
Oh,
And he
my.
sent him he got a tracking list of 10 boxes from UPS. And so we unwrapped, his dad sent him this vintage audio file, old school receiver from from the 70s with tubes on top and all this stuff with audio file quality stuff for playing back vinyl. And so he's really gotten this last year into records. And Sean used to own a record store in Grandview. He's played in bands for a long
wow.
time. And so the two of them are just going to be sitting around talking about, I'm going to be in Colorado. They're going to be sitting here talking on this channel about vinyl and music and all that stuff. So
Wow.
That's cool.
Tune in, call
That would
in,
be
whatever.
so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, I wish I was sitting here looking, and instead of looking at all these CDs I have, I wish it was all vinyl. The problem was that they didn't put most of it on vinyl for a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I wish they never would have went away from it.
Yeah. But even now, like even them going back to vinyl, like the price point on vinyl right now is just so high.
insane. Yeah.
Well,
You can digitally
it's-
stream
it's,
everything.
Yeah, it's because
Yeah.
it's starting up new. I think if they keep it going and it becomes more readily available, the prices will go down some.
Yeah.
But
Hopefully.
right now, they don't offer that much.
New. Yeah.
You said your friend Sean, did he own a record store?
Yeah, the Strange Loop record that was right here off
Okay.
Third Avenue in Grandview. So he and his buddy owned the record shop.
Okay.
So yeah,
That's really cool.
really into knows a lot about all that stuff. You know, like I don't.
Does it
I'm
still
not gonna pretend
exist,
to.
the
No, it
record
does
shop?
not.
Oh, bummer.
So Sean
Okay.
works for us. He does some bartending, but he's also a sales rep.
Okay.
He was on last week actually
Okay.
on the channel here.
I was not here for that.
No, no, you guys weren't. So,
No.
Andy, what was your first album,
On a tape? I can't remember
or
the tape.
just anything?
Tape
You know,
I-
the first significant album, I guess you'd say.
First significant album, I would probably say was my first CD, which was Matchbox 20.
Oh, boy. Rob.
Wow. Can we move on?
So I'm proud to say. So I definitely remember I had some cassette tapes that were given to me. Like I had the California Raisins and like Top
Yeah,
Gun
yeah.
soundtrack
Oh, yeah.
that were like
Classic.
that were
Yeah.
tapes that were given to me when I had a little GE tape deck when I was a kid. But the first album that I actually went and bought at a store was Led Zeppelin 4
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
with Stairway and Battle of.
Nice
I
choice.
mean,
Yeah.
Nice
and
choice.
I'm
That's
gonna-
a good
I'm-
first album.
gonna be fully honest. The first albums I tried to buy was Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, but they didn't sell them to me because of the parental guidance
my
explicit
God.
lyrics, and they told me that I could not buy them at Waves Music at Lane Avenue Mall when I rode my bike there with Andrew Covell in however old I was. So instead, I bought Led Zeppelin 4, which
I
I think
can't
was a
believe
better
it.
choice.
Yeah.
Still nothing wrong with Guns N' Roses, but
I completely forgot about that. The parental
Yeah, how-
advisory.
Oh, yeah.
How old were you guys when I was playing Eminem?
Oh man. I don't remember when Slim Shady came out. I mean, I
Yeah,
think
it
I
was-
was 16 maybe.
what
Or-
age were you?
I don't
And
remember.
Chris was what?
Yeah, I was.
I don't
I was
remember
probably
when
in-
that album
You know, I
came out.
didn't.
So-
I just played music. If I liked it, I played it. I didn't keep it for my kids.
That's kind of what my philosophy is. If like the music sounds good and I really like it, then I'm absolutely gonna play it and listen to it. But, like my range of music isn't just a specific genre. It's I'm listening to the Beatles. I'm listening to Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, but then I'm also listening to The Used and Taking Back Sunday and Atreyu and Killswitch Engage. Just like it's just whatever. It's a very emotional thing for me. So I just enjoy listening to music.
Same.
Listen to the music. It's what you need.
Absolutely.
1999
Yeah.
is when the first album of Eminem came out. So 1999, I was
Yeah. So you guys were teenagers. You were like
12.
14.
I was
13,
Yeah.
12.
14.
No, I was 14. Sorry, you were 12.
I was probably in 8th grade.
You were not yet born.
I was not
'Cause
yet
you're
Oh,
born.
yes,
16.
that's
right. We
I
established
correction.
that, so-
I was not yet born.
I would
Okay,
have been
this
probably a
must be an
sophomore in
inside
college.
joke. I don't get this one.
No, it was. We were joking around earlier because, yeah, we're not going to get into it. But it was. I was just saying that Andy is younger than I, and yeah.
No.
Cougar.
Yeah, I'm technically
Cougar.
16, but I'm
don't-
not 16.
We don't have a cougar button here. We should probably add
We
one.
were. We were talking about Andy's facial hair, and then
Oh,
got
it
in.
takes me 2 months to just grow what I have now, and
Also luring her to the van with the
Yeah.
candy.
With candy.
Yes,
how
with
we,
candy.
like our first meeting, how we first met, and all that. The panel van.
Very.
Yep. The spray paint on the side of the panel van or cardboard sign.
Actually, it was a
Solid,
black
also.
van, black
Black
windows.
van.
Which you thought were windows. It was just a trash
Painted
bag.
on. Classy.
Spray,
Classy.
spray painted painter's tarp.
Yes.
You gotta insulate it somehow.
Oh, that got dark real
it did.
fast.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Ooh,
Must be nighttime 'cause it's real dark in
it's
here.
really dark in here right now.
That's awesome. So how was Lisa's second cocktail there?
It's delicious.
Yeah.
Same one.
Fantastic.
It's yet to be named, but it's very tasty. Very summer-esque for a hot day. It's very refreshing, I would
Lovely.
say. Yeah.
I see the first cocktail you haven't eaten, the peach. Do you not like peaches?
I'm just trying not to chew it like in the microphone. I don't want to be like the people that listen. I don't want them to be like, ew, David.
Moving
Schitt's
to the
Creek.
country.
Gonna
Yes, eat a lot of peaches.
I hear they come from a can.
They do. They're
They
brought
get
here by
The
a man.
presidents of the
in a
United
factory
States of
downtown.
America.
Yeah, he's got it. He's got it.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, that was one of the first. I remember that album. We listened to that on repeat when we
Yeah.
were kids.
Yeah, great videos too.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Back in the MTV days, which is that still a thing? Like MTV
Yes and no.
videos?
It gets
No.
No.
no, not anymore. I guess like
MTV didn't. I've never. I mean, I haven't seen. Just out of curiosity, every once in a while, I go out to see what's on. It's just a bunch of
Reality
stuff that
TV
I am
shows.
not interested in.
yeah, I think,
Someone must be, or they wouldn't still be on. But there's no music videos that I've seen. In
Yeah.
a while.
yeah, I feel like everything now is just reality TV,
Reality
which
TV
is
shows.
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like that.
I mean, I remember waking up before like getting ready for school and then turning on the TV in either VH1 or MTV and just watching music videos.
Yeah, and they'd have the occasional like half an hour show, like Beavis and Butthead or something.
Yeah.
that wasn't music videos, and then it would be music videos for 4 hours,
Right.
and then
Yeah. And then you would come home from school and watch Total Recall Live and
Yeah.
it's like what's the new
Yeah,
what's
they
the new
used-
thing coming out right now? And
They were great, man. Some of them were great.
it used to be like a big thing. Like if you come out with a new
Huge thing.
single and then you just
have
the
that
music
video.
video would define that song almost, and you know doesn't matter anymore. It's not a thing.
Yeah, and I think this is something that I've talked a lot with some friends about lately too, where just the art of music has changed so much, because back when you look at vinyl, you're limited, and kind of what we were talking about at the very beginning, when you're limited artistically in
Yeah.
a space, in a physical space on that album, you only have so much room, and you have two sides that you physically have to change over. And so an artist or a musician has to consider the length of tracks, the length of recording time, and then a physical changeover. So you have albums with A sides and B sides and distinct changes in tone or mood sometimes. You have to create an experience based upon the physical medium.
Right.
That changed with CDs because it was then just all one continuous track. And so the concept of A and B was lost. And now it's all about like one hit digital tracks,
Yeah.
and it's all about that single song that pulls you in, but without the ability to kind of tell a long form story.
Right. Yeah, and it's actually become there are a couple albums that are out there to where it's just like one continuous thing, to where like that's kind of my definition of an album, is if it the song one starts and then it tells a story throughout everything. Like Dark Side of the Moon for Pink Floyd was kind of one of those. It's an album. And then Linkin Park,
Green Day.
Green Day had that too. Like it starts from the first song and then it just tells a story.
Yep.
You don't realize it, but it's just a continuous thing and just keeps on going. And now it's just like,
Sgt. Pepper's
Yeah.
absolutely.
Magical Mystery Tour.
Yep.
It had been done before. The Who.
Yeah, for
Tommy.
sure. And now it just feels like that's kind of, and my hope is that with vinyl coming back and even new artists creating vinyl, that people start considering those elements of telling that story, and it's no longer just a one hit track that you look on MySpace and here's my
Right.
music,
Yeah. Like as a
I mean,
musician.
yeah.
Yeah. Like
A
as
lot
a
of musicians are poets like Dylan. I mean,
Yeah,
Dylan told stories
absolutely.
about
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean Dylan
the
is
lifetime story.
Dylan is a Nobel Prize winning poet laureate, but and his lyrics, and like I've always been attracted to lyrics, so I love Bob Dylan,
Oh yeah.
and he is
Blood on the Tracks is one of my all-time favorites. It's not one in my top 10.
Oh, for sure. And I think anyone would say that Bob Dylan is an below average vocalist and
Oh, yeah.
an average technical musician,
Right.
but
Yeah.
a superior songwriter. And his
Oh, yeah.
lyrics and his poetry and his songwriting is
He's a
arguably
storyteller.
the best who's ever existed. Yeah, he's a storyteller.
Absolutely.
But as a vocalist and as a technical musician, he's average.
Mm-hmm.
And his vocals, let's be honest, are well below
Well,
average.
Neil Young's vocals are
God.
are a little rough.
I
too,
love
but I like Neil Young.
Neil Young is one of my all-time favorites, and again, lyrics and songwriters and storytellers,
Cinnamon Girl. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah.
After the Gold Rush, that whole thing, Harvest, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just those are all amazing records. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, Dad, you would have absolutely nothing to talk about on a podcast. Just nothing.
Nothing whatsoever.
Well, I didn't bring it up. You guys, I'm
that's
just
the thing.
weighing in.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, my first album. Yeah, I think. Oh man, it was a long time ago. It's
Brings back a lot of memories, I'm sure.
a very influential part of my life. Yeah, music was a huge part of my life growing up.
It's actually funny if you think about it. Not really funny, but I became a fan of classic rock and roll because of my father, who played music for me like that growing up. So, and then I developed into like the alternative rock and the pop punk, and
That's how it happens, kid.
yeah.
That's how it happens.
So, but it's really cool to think about that. Like if you play those, like the music you play for Fitzy and Roro,
Yeah.
like is that going to influence their musical choices growing up?
I hope so. I
Yeah.
mean, Meg, she keeps playing like kids music and pop music and like all this stuff. And like, so when I take Fitz to school, like his favorite song is Mr. Wendell by Arrested Development.
Okay.
If you guys know.
From the show. Or
No.
Oh.
The band.
I don't
Arrested.
know.
If you guys, are you familiar with Arrested Development? Like, so Tennessee.
No.
You guys know the song Tennessee?
I don't
Mr.
know.
Wendell? About the homeless
Maybe.
guy? No? Okay. We'll play. We can't play it live because of copyright infringement. I wish we could. It's
Good catch. Good catch.
kind of classic. It's 90s hip hop, and it's like,
Okay.
but it has a soul, it has a consciousness. So Mr. Wendell is a story of like a man who encounters a homeless person but finds empathy with that, and it's like it's kind of funky and like it's really cool. So
Okay.
I mean, 3 years, 2 months, and 5 days in the life of whatever that album is. It's fantastic, from
Okay.
back in the 90s. That's his favorite song now, but he's listening to Zeppelin and Pearl Jam when I'm taking him to preschool, and trying to find stuff that he can kind of relate. Like I definitely had some bedtime lullaby tunes that are, alternative.
Good call on good call on the Pearl Jam.
Oh, that's
Oh,
Pearl
man.
Jam is my favorite all-time band. I've seen them
Nice.
8 times and only once in this country.
Yeah, I saw them in Cincinnati at what is that
That's
River? What's the outdoor
Riverbend?
venue in
Riverbend.
Cincinnati? Riverbend.
Riverbend.
Yeah,
Riverbend, something, yeah.
I saw them at Riverbend. It was amazing.
We have been trying to get my dad a passport. He doesn't have one, so we can travel to Scotland. So,
Play golf. I want to play golf in Scotland.
So I've done that. I lived in Scotland for a year, and my
Oh
dad,
my God,
my
don't-
dad
oh
came
no.
over. So my dad
I'm
came
so
over,
jealous.
and that's
Rub
how
it in. Go
that's how
ahead.
I got into Scotch. Actually, I was 21 years old and moved to Edinburgh,
Rub it in.
Scotland. So you should
Did
go
you
over with
play
your
St.
dad.
Andrews?
So St. Andrews has like 6 golf courses. At least they had 6 when I lived there in the year 2000. And my dad came over, and he likes golf. I'm a horrible golfer. I'm better than my dad slightly. If I come anywhere near to breaking 100 with a number of mulligans in there, like I've had a good round, And so we played I think the Balvenie, which is like one of the off courses, and we were there when the Tigers' first win at the British Open was at St. Andrews at the old course. So it was the year 2000. And so the course, we were there just a few weeks before that. So the course was closed down, which meant we could just walk around and no one was playing.
Right.
So you could like walk
Wow.
across and pose on the bridge in front of the Royal Nations and all that stuff. And no one was out there playing because it was all closed down. And we rented clubs and played the cheap course, like, because we're not good. And we could get on it. We made a reservation the day before.
Yeah.
Whereas, you have to put in for lottery and do all that kind of stuff. And we're horrible
Right.
golfers. So we would have no business.
It would be it would be a waste. It would be a waste.
It
for,
would, but
a waste. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
mostly it's just if you're not a golfer and you're not into golf, that would not be on your bucket list.
For sure. But, saying that we
It
played
is on mine.
at St. Andrews, not the old course, but we played at St.
Right,
Andrews,
yeah.
and
Oh,
Right.
which one though?
now that you have your birth certificate, we can get you a driver's license and then we can get you a
Yes.
passport.
Oh, wow. There you
He
go.
moved a little bit ago and misplaced his birth certificate, and so we've been searching for that for the last 7 years.
so you can just get
Who's
one.
we?
No, I
Who
mean,
is we?
we've been.
I have been.
So to be fair, we've been like, well, did you unpack all of the boxes? No. Okay.
No.
Well,
Not yet. I'm working on it. It's only been 3 years.
you know what's
4
really,
years. Give me a break.
what's really going to be
Takes time.
funny is that as soon as you unpack like the last box, the birth certificate's going to be in there, and you would just went through this
Wait,
entire
I'm
struggle.
just not going to do it now. I'm just not, I don't want to be disappointed.
Not gonna do it.
Just burn it.
Oh man,
Not gonna do it.
That's
Not
funny.
gonna
So
do
Not going to happen.
not going to happen.
I'm gonna tell the best concert of my life,
Ooh,
and
I
then
love that.
because this is kind of on theme right here, but
Okay.
then I want to hear that same question from you guys. So same time when I was living in Scotland, I was there for 10 months, a little less than a year, and if you remember, Pearl Jam fought Ticketmaster and didn't tour for a number of years. So they testified in front of Congress. Like there were a number of bands that initially were, oh yeah, Ticketmaster, Monopoly, we're all going to boycott this. And then everyone else dropped out and Pearl Jam kept boycotting and not
Wow.
touring. You know, so look it up. There's a whole history there. But 2000 was the first year that they decided to start touring again. They kind of gave up after years of
Yeah.
fighting the system. And the first tour they did was a European tour while I was living in Scotland. So I got to go see them play in Dublin, Ireland, and Manchester and Glasgow.
Oh,
And the concert in Dublin, Ireland was at the Point Theatre, which it was a little bigger than the Newport
Okay.
here in Columbus, which is, I mean, I think there's maybe 5,000 people in the concert. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
One of the best
I
venues, I feel like.
stood
Same.
in line, you know, at the point of the pier in Dublin, Ireland to get in early, and my buddy AJ and I got up literally on stage, like on the fence in front of stage, kind of left of center. And Pearl Jam, you know, their first tour after they'd been boycotting it. And of course, my favorite song ever by them was Black. That's the song that captured me on 10. You know, when I first heard Alive and Jeremy Nevenflow, like, it's okay, whatever. My brother bought the CD, didn't play in his player, so he sold it to me for $5. Played it on mine. And that track 5, the lyric right at the end.
Yeah.
I know someday you'll have a beautiful life. I know you'll be a star in somebody else's sky. Why can't it be mine? I was like, what? And like suddenly started listening to that song and unraveling it. And, you know, that became my moment that I fell in love with that band. You know, and that was the encore song at that concert in Dublin, Ireland. Crazy.
That's a good one. I don't know. It's tough to top that one,
and
Dave.
for it to be an encore song too.
I know. It's like
that's
the
really
5-song
cool.
encore came out,
Yeah.
and they covered the Who, Wild Horses. You know, like I mean, it was just, man, they do a lot of covers. It was fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty.
I don't know.
that's
That'd
tough
be
to
hard
beat.
for me. I have several, but it's probably the Black Crows when I saw them at this little joint in Columbus. It's not even there anymore. I don't remember what the name of it was. It was down in Warehouse District or
Nice.
Arena
just a
District.
tiny place.
Arena
Yeah, the
District.
Brewery District down in that area. It's not there anymore.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That was amazing. There was only like 300 people there. It was just a kick-ass show.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm
like
trying to
that.
think of what mine would be.
I mean,
The one where I went to when I went to Woodstock and to Levon Helm's place and saw the Black Crows record at his actual recording studio.
I think I remember.
I
you,
thought she was going to pull out when I went to Woodstock, and we're like, wait a minute.
No, true story. I was actually on the way to Woodstock when I was 16 years old, and my sister's Gremlin, and it broke down
Oh.
on the freeway. Like we were heading out, and we never made it.
That's a bummer. No, I mean, man, I've been to quite a few concerts. I think one of the most memorable ones was probably the Rolling Stones at Ohio State at the Shoe.
Yeah.
And the
That was
only
like
bummer.
15 years ago, like something.
No, it was recent. Well, not recent, but I mean, it was
4 or 5 years ago.
2013,
Okay.
maybe
Didn't
14,
they play?
15.
Didn't they also play like a long
Maybe.
time ago?
I can't
The
recall.
Stones put on some groups are better live than they are on recorded. I think
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
the Stones are one of those groups.
Yeah, I think Pearl Jam's one of those too. You know?
I think the only bummer to the Stones concert was that Kid Rock opened for the Rolling Stones, and that's not really my forte of music.
Oh, come on, give him a break.
Sorry, we're not allowed.
He's right there with
Oh,
Ted Nugent.
Oh man, it was either. I mean,
Sid and Ted live on the same street.
I think that was probably my favorite concert, but also to my first concert. Well, aside from the boy bands that I went to when I was a kid, but you know, my favorite concert was probably seeing Something Corporate, which was at the Newport. And I was probably 16 or 17 years old in high school and went to the Newport Music Hall. My parents, I'm not sure which one, dropped me off. And I walked in there and saw Andrew McMahon perform. And I was just blown away by his piano, his musician. I don't even know the words. I can't even talk because I was just so blown away.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
And since then have been a fan ever since. And the coolest part about it is that there was like absolutely nobody there.
Yeah.
So I was probably one of 100 people in the place.
Or like J.D. McPherson in Memphis.
Yes, that is correct. 'Cause when I lived in
Christmas
Memphis,
show?
I saw J.D. McPherson. He put on a Christmas album tour, and the folks in Memphis, I don't think were super familiar of his music. And I went, and there was like 7 people there, and they rocked out, and they're absolutely amazing live. But anywho, I would say that Something Corporate or the Rolling Stones were probably 2 of my favorites. On my bucket list, though, is I would love to see Coldplay in London or
Like on their home front.
yes, because I just really appreciate. I love piano rock
Sure.
and
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
Dun, 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 dun.
It's up to me now.
All right, hey guys, I'm going to have to sign off because I'm not taking my phone to the bathroom,
Okay.
but I do appreciate talking to you guys.
Yeah, it was
And,
nice to
Yeah,
call
we're
in.
just
about
I hope
ready
to,
to-
I hope
Yeah.
to meet
We're
you
almost
face to
over.
face soon.
Likewise.
Oh, wow.
Like, stop by
Okay.
anytime. We'll give you a taste
Yeah,
of
Dad.
whiskey and crack
All
a
right,
bottle open.
appreciate it.
Thanks for calling in, Pops.
Hey, it was fun. It
Yes.
was fun. I'll talk to you
All
later.
right, see you later.
All right, bye.
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 Yeah, we that was very nice. Your
Yeah,
dad's,
that's nice.
your
He's,
dad's
a
was
great,
really
he's
fun.
just such a great guy.
I want to hang out and drink a scotch with him, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, he
sure
really
he wouldn't
is.
mind.
He is one of those people that is just kind of like me, I guess, like super happy-go-lucky.
Awesome.
Yes,
Awesome
awesome.
and
Obviously,
cool
awesome,
and
cool,
just amazing.
amazing.
100%.
He's just one of those dudes where, you can be faced with this this shitty situation, and he always comes out with this positive
Yeah.
outlook.
Yeah.
Which, sorry. Meg warned me about this. She's like, don't curse. I'm like, no, she
I
didn't.
don't know. Was I just calling out your language or was I quoting a movie? I don't know.
I don't remember. Anywho, but
Age of
yes,
Ultron?
thanks for calling in, Pops. That was fun.
Yeah,
He
cheers.
could have just been here. Just he was on the call for 45 minutes. He's calling. He just tried to call back. He probably butt dialed me from the bathroom.
From the bathroom.
Real quick before we start finishing up, for my concert experience would
Yes.
probably be just because at some point it kind of gets put into history, but Warped Tour has been around for so long. And I was able to do the 25th anniversary tour where they only really had an East Coast and a West Coast date, and that was it.
I was there. Too.
And what is that? Like a
You went to New Jersey?
Oh no, never.
Yeah, like
East
they're-
Coaster?
Yeah, East
West
Coaster or
Coaster
West
day?
Coaster.
Oh.
Yeah,
East
look at that.
Coaster, West Coaster.
You got it.
Dad joke. Yeah.
But yeah, like all those amazing bands. Like growing up, been to multiple Warped Tours, and to be at the last Warped Tour, I mean, I could put that in air quotes just because all the bands are like, yeah, this is the last Warped Tour. But it was like
That's cool.
just seeing that and experiencing that, and the seeing the actual person who came up with Warped Tour
Yeah,
and
that's
talking
cool.
with him
Yeah.
was awesome.
So we're about to sign out here, but I have a concert story to tell. That was
Fantastic.
It was one of the best shows I've ever been to, but kind of the most random. And so this would have been, it was 2001 or 2002. I was back in Boulder finishing up, and are you guys familiar with the band Gomez? They're a British group. I love the Brit rock, a little bit of an Anglophile, and so I was really into them at the time, kind of late 90s, turn of 2000. Like they've got 2 lead singers that have one like a deep gravelly voice and one.
Okay.
So I was like, oh my God, they're coming to play at the Fox Theater in Boulder. And this is still back in 2001 or 2. This was an more obscure band. Some people knew them, you know what I mean? But not a big deal. Very small concert place. Went to see him. And, as always, you go into this place and you don't really expect anything from the opening act. Especially, this is like a not big name band, like I paid $15 for the ticket,
Right,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that,
Yeah.
like go in, I'm really excited to see Gomez. And there's this guy and a guitar, wearing a hat, and this other big dude on a stand-up bass,
Oh yeah.
and just pretty and this guy's like bippity-boppity-boop, you know, like playing his guitar and like and going. I'm like, what is this? This is amazing. Like I've never seen an opening show like this, right?
Right.
And so, and he's like bippity-bop-boop, the guy in a hat, right? And so like afterward, I go out and like meet him. He had just recorded his first studio album. It was coming out in a couple months. And like he had some of his like home burned CDs, like laser printer covers.
Yeah,
I bought like 2 of them, you know what I mean? 2 or 3 of them, you know, I think it was like buy 3 for $20, you know, something like that. Like, yeah, because he was actually really good singing as an opening act. That was Jason Mraz.
Really?
Wow.
Jason Mraz was opening
Oh
for
my
Gomez at the Fox Theater. I had no idea. And then
Holy cow.
literally then like I didn't even realize because I was like not that in touch with like new pop music that came out. And suddenly one of my students when I was teaching at a school in Lakewood like 2 years later mentioned, oh yeah, Jason Mraz. I'm like, Jason Mraz? I'm like, wait a minute, I saw that guy. Like, oh yeah, he's got this Rock and Ride album coming, you know, and I was like, oh my God. Like I met him, I've got his like albums that like
Yeah.
are burnt off his home computer
Right.
with like, you know, all this stuff. And I got some serious street cred from those kids
That's
because
awesome.
why not?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that was the most random concert I've been to. But
That must be the rugby player.
You guys.
oh yeah, Columbus Castaways rugby team picking up some beer for their match tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good luck, rugby guys.
Yeah, good luck,
Yeah,
guys.
absolutely. All right, guys, we are out of time. Actually, it's been really
Man.
fun.
Yeah, it's been a good time.
Such a good time.
It's
a-
Thanks for having us. It went like super quick.
Yeah, you think about like, oh, what are we gonna talk about? And like, oh no, we just talked for an hour and a half.
I mean, that's kind of the idea. You know, we're just BSing, brewing, and spiritsing.
Yes.
Yeah, brewing
And
experience.
I'm the
Yes,
spirits.
Ando.
You guys are the brewery.
exactly. We're brewing something funky.
Yeah.
She's bringing the spirit, and yeah, and that's kind of just what this is all about. Just hanging out with good people, having some good drinks, and hanging out just like everyone else does.
Yeah.
Friday night, live at 5. Thanks for joining us this week, everyone. We will see you next week. And I'm going to fade that music right in there.
Nice.
The Endeavor track.
It's nice to meet you guys.
Next week, live at 5, we have my buddy Eric, who is just fresh off the Appalachian Trail.
Ooh.
Of a section hike just for a couple weeks. He's going to come and talk about his experience, show some slides on here, have a few drinks. We'll see you next week. Come join us at Endeavor Brewing and Spirits in the Grandview area, Columbus, Ohio. Have some cocktails with us.
Come BS.
Take care.